Hello and welcome to your astrological forecast for March 2025. My name is Demian Allen. If you want to become a subscriber, then do, and also like the video that you're about to see. Okay, so this is about March, what to expect, and I'm going to look at all 12 zodiac signs stroke rising signs for March. Now, big month. I cannot overemphasize how much of a big month. We've got a few retrogrades to get through. We've got a total lunar eclipse, and we've got one of the outer planets moving into a new zodiac sign for the first time in 165 years. Oh yes. So what can we expect? It is a big month. There's a lot going on. It's going to be a month where a lot of changes come into play. They're already starting as I'm recording this in late February. But the first one I want to talk about is obviously Venus retrograde. That's going to be in Aries. That happens around about the 1st, 2nd, depending on where you are in the world, of March. And that starts at 10 degrees in Aries. As I'm recording this is about the 26th of February, it's already at 10 degrees. So it's slowed right down stationary before it goes retrograde. So that's going to affect a lot about making decisions and being decisive and being brave and courageous on the collective level. We've also got a Mercury retrograde. Oh yes, that Mercury retrograde is come back in. That happens around about the 14th, 15th of March, and again that's in Aries. It does go back into Pisces, as does Venus towards the end of the month, but it is in Aries, and that's at 9 degrees in Aries. It starts off making a conjunction obviously with that energy of Venus as well, although Venus is separating from that. And on the 14th we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees as well occurring. There's so much kind of going on with that. I mean, it's going to be one of those months where a lot happens in a very short space of time for us all. And it seems like the world order, or how we perceive the world, is changing dramatically over a very short space of time. And that things are shifting in quite a direction. Because of the energy of Aries and Pisces, the two signs of zodiac that are very strong in this, it means that the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end, come into play quite a bit during this period. And I think that's going to be very much the case of what energy is sort of taking place during this particular period. I also kind of feel that because of this particular energy, it's pulling backwards. It's like old policies coming back in and really causing us to reflect on the last 7 years particularly, and how we have responded to that particular energy. Jupiter is moving forward in Gemini. Mars is now moving forward in Cancer, remains in Cancer for the whole of March. Uranus is moving forward in Taurus. Saturn is moving forward in Pisces. Neptune, I will talk about in a bit. Pluto is also moving forward, as is Chiron in Aries. So there's a lot of planets that are moving forward. So that always brings in a kind of sense of things, opportunities are coming. But here's the big one. Neptune, for the first time in 165 years, right at the end of March, goes into Aries. And that is significant because Pluto is all about the collective from a cultural perspective. Now, in March 2011, Neptune went into Pisces. And I've done a separate video on this about how it affects this transition from Neptune going in from Pisces to Aries and how it affects each 12 zodiac signs. So check out that. I'll put it in a link in the description. But basically, this is highly significant about cultural shifts and changes. Since 2011, the world has been very, very nebulous. Neptune in Pisces, and confusing, and boundaries have not been in place. What you're seeing now taking effect on the political, economic, is boundaries start to be put in place, whether we like it or not. Put in place for Neptune going into Aries. The Conqueror and Poseidon meet together, and they want to put much more structure in the world. So you're starting to see this in some of the decisions that are being made. And of course, when Neptune goes into Aries at the end of March, that is a significant event. It's hugely significant, because what you're getting is less of this smoke and mirrors attitude that we've been under for a considerable amount of time, and things actually beginning to sort of become a bit more structured. Again, whether we like it or not, this is what's happening. So that for me is a really kind of big major aspect. We've got a lot of outer planets moving this year and over the next couple of months. So this is kind of like a cultural shift, a new fashions, trends, how we respond to each other, new political, economic strategies and policies coming forward now. It's really kind of powerful. So it's a strong month. Okay, let's go into the 12 zodiac signs. We're going to start off with Aries sun sign, Aries rising. Okay, big month for you guys. Lots going on in the 4th house. Mars is moving forward, so the home life is moving forward. Decisions can be made regarding that area of your life, but you've got Venus and you've got Mercury both retrograde in your own sign. So this is getting the balance just right here between making decisions and hanging back and reflecting. I know Aries, you like to make decisions, but really it's going to be very difficult during this particular period because of the amount of energy that's reflected back on you. So it's about other people rather than you. And I feel like, try to not make any big decisions. Try to be kind of conservative. Okay? You have Neptune right at the end of the month entering into your own sign. So listen, Aries, you're in for a bit of a spiritual awakening coming up over the next 14-year period at different times for you, depending where your sun or your rising degree is. But if you're in early degrees, like the 20th of March, Aries, or 21st of March, you are going to be hit by that Neptune a lot. And that's going to really kind of dissolve your ego structure and your sense of self and rebuild it back up into a much more empathetic, charitable, spiritual orientated basis for yourself. So it's hugely important, this shift. Aries have just got to sort of hang there and wait for things to play out a little bit more. They don't tend to like to do that, so it is a little bit difficult, but allow it to happen. Okay, Taurus sun, Taurus rising sign. Venus, your ruler, goes retrograde at the beginning of the month and remains retrograde for the whole of the month in your 12th house, and it creeps in right at the end of the month into your 11th house. It's really kind of important that you get your sense of security from your sense of self and your inner world and your inner workings, because that's what you're going to kind of need during this particular period. Listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition, be aware of the signs and symbols that are trying to talk to you, be working with much more the subconscious. Take time out from your busy schedule. Try not to take everything on during this month. Your ruler wants you to slow down on the internal process. It wants to take you out of the world for a short period of time so that you can recharge your batteries. This is the month to do it, because when we get into April, it gets really busy for you Taurians again. So it's really important that you listen to that. You may find that you're not able to take as much on, or you may feel like you're just slowing down, or that your energy is starting to really become a little bit depleted. Listen to that. Taurus need to take time out. Unfortunately, they usually don't. They just put their head down and carry on. That's not the way to deal with this month. Gemini sun, Gemini rising. Okay, Mercury, your ruler, is retrograde in your 11th house, which is the house of friendships and communities and groups and societies, and your kind of what you want for the future and what you want to manifest in the future. So this is kind of like a really important time period for you, but it's a slowing down period that I think is important. But however, for most of you, not most of you, let's just rephrase that. For those born around about the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th of June, you've got Jupiter making a conjunction to your sun. So everything is going magnified, expansive, a little bit crazy energy that you're dealing with. Might be feeling very restless, or new ideas, new opportunities just coming out of nowhere. So you've got to sort of keep that basis coming on. For those of you born a bit later in the June period, say about the 12th, 13th, you've got the Saturn squaring your sun. So you're completely different from the previous lot. It's all about restriction and restraint because Saturn is squaring your sun, and therefore you have to take things a little bit carefully and plan ahead. So Gemini's got a little bit of a, depending on where you're born, conflicting kind of energies going around here. And because your ruler Mercury is retrograde, it will feel like you're going backwards. You're not. It's just that this is not the time to make decisions unless you're born, you know, as I said, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th of June. Then, yeah, go for it. Okay, Cancer, Sun, Cancer rising. Mars is traveling in your own zodiac sign, has been since September on and off of last year, but it is moving direct. So all the things that have been delayed, you know, over the last couple of months are started to actually play out. So it means, yes, you make snap decisions. Yes, you've got to be very committed to what you're doing. Be assertive, be driven, be bold, be courageous, all of those aspects. Also, you Cancerians are ruled by the moon. You've got a lunar eclipse happening as well. And that's in your 3rd house. That's on the 14th, which is all about the communicating effectively. You might be very emotional at that particular period, 13th, 14th, 15th of March. Just be aware of that. But it also might bring an end to the way that you communicate, and you beginning to communicate much more effectively. That Mars is assertive. It's there to give you strength and purpose to move forward. So don't forget that. Okay, let's move on to Leo or Leo rising. The Sun is in Pisces for a majority of the time here, which is sneakily kind of in your 8th house, which is all about other people's energies, other people's value of yourself, and other people's money. So you're giving away a lot of energy to other people. And we've talked about this before, Leos, haven't we? In regard to Pluto being in your opposite sign in the 7th house. Okay, you've got to get used to that. That's there for the next 20 years. But I feel like this month is like giving away your energy to other people. And you've got to be really careful that you don't give too much, that you reserve and keep some energy for yourself. That being really kind of important. Also, the total lunar eclipse on the 14th hits your financial aspect of your chart, so look out for decisions around finances, or how you manage your personal finances, or how you earn your money, and things come up to the surface in regard to the area being very, very strong for you. The South Node is traveling in that sector as well, so again, not going to repeated patterns of how your relationship money is from the past, looking at new ways and avenues to make money for the future. Okay, Virgos, Virgo Sun, Virgo rising. Okay, it's all about a lunar eclipse on the 14th in your own sign at 23 degrees. Very, very strong. People say that lunar eclipses are endings. Yeah, they can be, but they have a 6-month lifespan on them. So not everything's going to happen on the 14th, but it might be that there is endings to do with how you identify yourself, and relationships with other people coming to a conclusion, or being thought of in a different way to how they've been before. Your ruler Mercury is course retrograde as well, and that's always, but that's in the kind of the 8th house. Again, you're looking at things that are hidden or not seen. A lot going on with that. So you just got to be kind of a little bit more attentive to your own needs, the needs of others. And also how you respond to life's challenges, whether that's good or not so good, how you respond to that, because it's about identity and your vitality levels as well during this particular period. Okay, Libra Sun, Libra rising. Venus is retrograde in your 7th house for a majority of the month. That means it's focused on relationships of other people, going backwards, reflecting, listening to other people, not necessarily answering the questions at this stage, being diplomatic. But you might find that other people are less diplomatic towards you. You might feel that they are projecting quite a lot onto you. Now, take some of it, but not all of it, you know, and sometimes with a retrograde, it's misunderstandings and miscommunication, the way that you kind of say things that people take the wrong way and think, oh, you know, you meant this. And you go, no, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it this way. You might have to explain yourself a lot during this particular period. and just be looking out for that. Also, Mercury is also in your 7th house, so it re-emphasizes, it magnifies regarding relationships, regarding other people, and how to navigate through that. This is a period when it's not about you doing what you usually do. It's about you absorbing, reflecting, taking time out, and trying to communicate in an effective and boundary-driven way. Okay, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio rising. Listen, guys, Mars is moving forward in another water sign like yourself, so this is very, very good for you. And you know, the energy is kind of moving forward in such a way that you can get quite a lot done. Yes, you've got Uranus still in your 7th house, but that's only for you Scorpios who are born right at the end of the Sun in Scorpio. You know, sort of November to kind of 19th, 18th, 20th, 21st, and you're affected a lot, and everything's a bit up in the air and disrupted and erratic at the moment, in particularly relationship areas and other people. But for Scorpios, it's a kind of very, very powerful time, and it's a time when things really become much more easier to deal with, and you will feel like you've got a certain level of control. And that's not necessarily been the case over the last 4 months. So this is quite a big, big month for you guys in moving forward. Okay, let's go to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, listen, it's the thing about Jupiter, your ruler, it's moving forward. Try not to take too much on. It's in the relationship area of your chart. You know, it's about not spreading yourself too thin. That energy is really kind of working and weaving its magic. Interestingly, the lunar eclipse on the 14th hits the 10th house, which is your career house. So around that period, it might be career development suddenly come to light, or things come right up to the surface to deal with that area. So just be kind of tread carefully during that particular period, around about the 14th. Don't make any snap decisions, or don't lose your temper, or you know, walk out suddenly. You know, be kind of like, there's high energy, there's high emotion during that period. It will serve you well to recognize that, because it will dissipate as we go further down the line into March. That's going to sort of take place. Okay, Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun. Saturn is kind of coming towards the end of Pisces. It's got a couple more months before it moves. But it is moving forward, you know, and that's good in the communication part of your life. The Venus energy is interesting. That's all happening. Venus and Mercury retrogrades in your 4th house. So this is to do with family, situations, homes, property, ancestral lineage. You might find yourself kind of having to put a lot of energy into that kind of area of your life, more than you would like to, or you feel that you've got too many responsibilities in that area. Okay, you might have this month, but that's not how it's always going to be. It's a bit of grin and bear it a little bit, and you know, it's other people that are creating that kind of retrograde energy rather than you. So that will pass. Let those things kind of play out within the family dramas. Just hold that kind of pillar of you, and the energy of you will serve you well during this particular month. Aquarius, sun or Aquarius rising. Health matters. Mars is moving forward. Health matters should be started to, if it's been a little bit difficult over the last 4 months, then, you know, generally things start to, at least you'll know where you kind of stand and what you have to do. There's a certain amount of depleted energy that's come about over health matters, with Mars being in the 6th house. It's been on and off there since September last year. So check about your health and how you feel about your health here, and things that have come up. Mars is very much an energy that kind of can be very direct and very aggressive. So it might be just little things with your health that's come up that is now starting to move forward, or at least you know where you stand with it here as well. Your 2 rulers, Uranus and Saturn, are moving forward, which is good for you. The lunar eclipse hits your 8th house, which is your other people's money. So partners, stuff may happen around finances, or people may value you in a different way, or begin to value in a different way. And finally, Pisces. Okay, Pisces sun, Pisces rising. Your ruler, traditional ruler Jupiter is moving forward in your own sign. I bet you're all pleased. If you're born sort of the end of Pisces, then from around about the 14th up until the 20th, up until the end really, then Saturn is starting to make a conjunction with your Sun, so it's about steadiness, self-discipline, putting limits on yourself, dealing with reality. But of course the big news for you guys is your modern ruler, Neptune, is at the end of the month going from your own sign to Aries. This is significant for most Pisces. For the last 14 years they've had Neptune in their own sign, which would mean that it's been a very confusing time for a lot of Pisces. And so this is kind of, be quite glad. As an astrologer, I don't believe in the outer planets ruling natural zodiac sign. I don't believe that Uranus rules Aquarius, or that Neptune rules Pisces, or that Pluto rules Scorpio. But I say it anyway because I know that there's people who will, you know, like modern astrology. But so I'm not, the idea of Neptune being comfortable in Pisces, I don't believe that's the case. I think that Pisces is very nebulous and doesn't like boundaries, nor does Neptune. So there's no friction, there's nothing to learn. They're just both like don't like boundaries and just go away with the cosmos, whatever. So I feel like that move into Aries really signifies an end of a particular cycle of confusion and getting caught up in things and other people's dramas. And you'll find, not straight away, but as Neptune goes in more uncomfortable into Aries, that you find that there's like the fog is sort of lifted and you have a very clear idea of where you want to do, what you want to do, and how you're going to do it. And that's going to be great for Pisces. So you'll kind of feel that on an internal level as we get towards the end of the month. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe. It all helps spread the word of astrology, and like the video. That also helps. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.